Welcome to the Kristin Carrera podcast. I am Kristin. Welcome back if you've been following along on this beautiful journey of mine, if you want to call it that, and or chaos. But welcome back. And if you are new, make sure to hit that subscribe button, follow along, and comments. You know that I love to hear where you're coming from. And if you are new to the lion diet or carnivore diet, what have you seen in improvements? What have you struggled with? Give me all of the in-betweens. So today we are discussing my 30-day lion diet challenge that we did in October. I did this accountability group hosted with Dr. Fernando Morales. You can check out his YouTube. He's also on Fountain. And we had a crazy journey, right? Because everybody is so different. So there was some that fell off the wagon a little bit, but did see the improvements and saw what they needed to tweak. For example, one of the people in our group had oxalate dumping issues, and therefore they knew that they needed to kind of go back a little bit more carnivore and work on those issues before diving into another test of a 30-day lion diet challenge. This lion diet challenge is not for the weak-minded. It is very, very mentally challenging. At least that was my experience. And I went through those mental challenges with carnivore as well, because it is very difficult to go from a sad diet or a quote unquote balanced diet or whatever kind of diet that you've been on and go carnivore or go lion diet, because it is such a restrictive diet. Your body is transitioning. It's adapting to the fat and the protein. It's releasing toxins, oxalate dumping, right? It's all this shock to your body. And so it takes a lot, not just physically on your body, but mentally. So I definitely applaud those who were able to finish the 30-day challenge. And I also applaud those who did the first week or the first 2 weeks. Why? Because you tried. Because you now are learning more about nutrition. You're learning about the foods in our world that can harm you. You're learning about the good and the bad, what works for you and what does not work for you, and seeing if you saw any benefits of healing your body, whatever it is that you may be going through. One of our other participants, they saw a relief in depression that they hadn't seen in a very long time. These are huge things. We had another person who was a marathon runner who saw great benefits, but knew that they had to implement a little bit of more of an animal-based diet when they had their runs. This is not for everybody, right? You have to see what works for you. So let's summarize my 30-day lion diet challenge. And let's just say that this challenge began with fatigue. It began with headaches, digestive issues, including watery stool, and significant cravings for non-animal-based, non-protein meats. I don't know where my cravings were coming from. I swear I've had more cravings during the lion diet challenge than I did on the carnivore diet. The first few days, including bouts of migraine, anxiety, and feeling of hunger despite what I was eating. I was thankful that stopping coffee only gave me a headache for one day. And then I kind of had a little bit of that neck headache tension sometimes here and there, but I think that had to do more with my neck than the coffee. I don't think that I had any real significant results from having stopped coffee. I still had a little bit of anxiety. I still had my inflammation and whatnot, right? I don't drink that much coffee like others do. Some were drinking 2 to 3 cups a day, and they took almost 2 to 3 weeks to really get past that craving and those headaches from withdrawing from the coffee, right? I personally did not feel that, thankfully. I really only have about a cup and a half a day. For me, it's not about the energy boost because I can have decaf. I just love the taste of coffee. It's one of the few things that I enjoy. especially going carnivore. So that is me. That's my experience. That's how I feel. There were moments of low energy and poor sleep with several instances of needing pain relief for headaches and the neck discomfort. I did have to take ibuprofen when I was getting those headaches because it was the only thing that would take them away. I am a mom of 3. I cannot just go lay down in bed like when you get a migraine and the doctor's like, lay in a dark room and relax. Like they would tell me that when I was pregnant. I can't do that. I have 3 kids. I am go, go, go. So sometimes you got to do what you got to do. And so, yes, I did take ibuprofen for my headaches. And then over the next week, days 8 through 14, there was a slight improvement of the energy levels, although digestive issues were still there. The individual experienced varying degrees of hunger continued, cravings for foods. I just could not feel satisfied no matter how much I ate. The routine that I had included a mix of churrasco and beef broth. Those were like my main foods, but satisfaction with meals remains inconsistent. I still just it was hard for me. Emotional and physical discomfort, particularly neck pain, continued affect overall my well-being. I felt like quitting every other day. I would remind myself of my why. I reminded myself of my accountability group, and that kept me going to see if the Lion Diet was something that would work for me. Some might think, well, Kristin, like if you didn't feel anything within the first week or the first 2 weeks, you should have just quit. Why keep going? Well, when I started carnivore, I wanted to quit 100 times a day too, because it was really hard and I was oxalate dumping and I had the keto flu and it was bad. You can go check out. I have videos of summarizing. I actually did first 30 days as well, like I did with the Lion Diet Challenge. And I also have a few videos that you can check out that talk about like the first week, the second week. I literally read you my journal. I have it here. I can show you. This is my journal. And I have all my notes in there from when I first started carnivore, just like I did with the Lion Diet Challenge. I love to write things down because you're not going to remember every single day. You really aren't. And if it wasn't for writing it down, I would have not found out during carnivore that I had high histamine allergies. So these are just little things to take into consideration if you're ever trying to change your nutrition, whatever it is, journal it. I promise you it is well worth looking back on and kind of figuring things out of what might be harming your body and maybe seeing things that are beneficial to your body. So day 15 through the 21st, we're midway through. At the halfway mark, I reported that I had persistent neck pain, sleep disturbance, alongside menstrual symptoms. And then despite some of those positive moments, I did have feelings of anxiety, fatigue, and I was just still not satisfied with my meals. I managed my hunger with larger meal portions because the first 2 weeks I was losing weight, and I don't need to lose weight. I don't want to lose weight. In fact, I want to gain a little bit more weight, gain more muscle. I feel throughout this journey, I've lost a little bit of my butt and more of my boobs, and I don't want that. So I was trying to gain more weight, and so I started to eat more in attempt to do that. And I was able to up my weight a little bit. I'll give you those stats in a second, and I can show you a screenshot when I do. I wrote them down. That was a struggle for me. That was definitely a struggle. And then the last week was just pretty much the same. I was feeling the same tiredness. I was going through the same routine, right? And I realized, I've said it before, but there's no one size fits all. I know some will say that 30 days isn't enough to truly see if the Lion Diet would work. And I do believe that to an extent. I believe that with the carnivore diet. I believe that if you're starting off from a standardized diet or any other kind, coming from any other diet and going into carnivore, you definitely do need more than 30 days, depending on the severity of your health. So I had a lot of issues. I had a lot of different things. I had depression, anxiety, fatigue, brain fog, inflammation in my hands that felt like arthritis. I had my neck bulging disc, low back, herniated disc, bloatedness all the time. I think that's it. I have thyroid issues, gut issues, microscopic colitis. So my list is very long, right? And that's why I went on carnivore. I knew my why. And some people see results. You will see it on social media, but social media can either be faked, it can be exaggerated for views, it can be manipulated. And I'm not saying that all of these testimonials are, because they're not. I truly believe that some people do feel benefits, but it could also be more of like a placebo effect where they see these benefits within 1 to 2 weeks. You need longer than that because you've been eating a standardized diet or eating, consuming seed oils, sugars, all these things that have been harming your body for so many years. And it's definitely not going to heal overnight. I believe that. I took pretty much 90 to the 100 days mark before I started reintroducing animal based foods, where I was seeing the improvements, where I was healing. I no longer was feeling depressed. I was probably 90% better on my anxiety. I had no more inflammation in my hands. I definitely had no more brain fog. It was this clarity, this I had no more fatigue. And the days that I was fatigued, I realized what I needed to do. I wasn't drinking enough water, or I may have needed extra electrolytes. But so many things were starting to heal. As I was getting closer to being on carnivore for 9 months, my bowel movements were improving, which for me is a huge improvement. So overall, these 30 days of the Lion Diet Challenge, I did not see the benefits that I was hoping for. And that is going to happen because, again, there's no one size fits all. And every body is different. What works for me may not work for you, vice versa. And so it's a journey of figuring out what works, what is going to help heal our individual bodies, what is sustainable, what can you do to create a life where you're happy eating the foods you love, but also healing your body. And so it is a challenge. It is a constant learning curve, right? And so these 30 days, if they've taught me anything, have been that I am more resilient than I ever thought that I could be. That with all the mental challenges that I've had with depression and anxiety, I am still strong to go through these challenges. I am determined. When I am determined to do something, I don't let things stop me. I don't let them stop me so easily. Even if my brain tries to discourage me and tell me that I want to quit 100 times a day, my brain and my heart reminds me also of my why. And my why isn't just about healing my body and feeling the best me that I can feel, because I've felt so crappy for so many years, but about my family. Because if I can't heal mentally for myself, then I'm not here for my children. I'm not here for my husband. And so I remind myself of my why. And you need to remind yourself of your why. Write it down on a sticky note, put it somewhere where you can see it. Put it on the cover of your phone. Remind yourself why you are doing these hard things right now that may seem very, very hard, but in the long run are going to be so much easier. So yes, the Lion Diet wasn't for me, but I also realized if I would have never done this 30-day challenge, I would have had in the back of my head, would it have worked? Would doing the Lion Diet cure my anxiety 100%? Would I have no longer inflammation and pain in my neck and low back? will it do these things for me? Will my microscopic colitis be somehow miraculously cured? And so now I know that no, it's not for me. There are people who do the lion diet that is the only way they can eat because they have severe health issues and they've found this has a relief in their life. And that is amazing. And then there's people who do it because they follow a fad. And then there's people who do it because they want to lose weight, which to me is not the best way to do that, because the minute that you transition back to the way you were eating, you're just going to gain that all back. That's another podcast. And then there's people who do it and they just love it and they feel the benefits and they want to continue and they're okay with not eating other foods and just eating this particular way. I love food. I am Latina. I grew up with a lot of sazon and I love different foods from different nationalities. And I think that we need to understand the food pyramid better. I think that we need to understand what is harming our bodies, like seed oils and the consumption of so much sugar in foods, and try to do the best that we can with feeling the best that we can. And so for me right now, that's transitioning back to carnivore. I was going to do day by day reintroduction of carnivore foods, like 3 to 4 days of butter, 3 to 4 days of eggs, et cetera, et cetera. But I was missing my breakfast so much that I couldn't. I went and enjoyed my first meal of eggs, butter, bacon. And I know this is controversy to many, many hardcore carnivores out there, but coffee. I enjoyed my coffee with my cream, no sugar, just black espresso coffee with heavy cream. And I'm not sorry about it because it's my life. It's not anybody else's. And that's the way that you got to look at it. It's your life. What is going to make you happy? What is going to make you feel amazing? Be there for your family, for your kids, if you're single, for your future family. Whatever it is, for yourself. Right? We need to love ourselves more because our bodies are a temple. And what you feed it is going to determine the kind of life that you are going to live. And we have a problem in the world. We have an issue with diabetes and people who are overweight and children who are getting sicker, right? So we need to teach ourselves first about nutrition, about what can harm you and what can fuel your body. And then we need to teach our children. So I take away today 30 days of the Lion Diet Challenge. I want to say thank you to all the participants who were in our group, because without you, I definitely probably would have quit. This accountability group kept me together. It kept me going. My why kept me going. And so if you're going into any type of elimination process of foods and you're doing some type of challenge just to get reset, wherever you are in your journey, find yourself an accountability partner, because I promise you that is going to help you with moving forward. But most importantly, you can have that accountability group. For me, it 100% helps me. Some will still drop out because that's not enough for them. You need to figure out your why. And your why has to be strong and powerful enough that you want to make that change. So 30 days of the Lion Diet Challenge, here I am confirming that it did not work for me. I admit I am open and raw and honest on this page, as you know, on my podcast. And so it was not for me, but maybe it's for you. There will be other 30-day challenges out there. If you want any more information, check out days 1 through 30 on what I went through. On my Instagram, I give little snippets of reels on talking about my day. And reach out to me in the comments. Go to my Instagram. I'm over on Nostr on X. And I love to hear your thoughts, your journey, and where I can help you and guide you to start a better, healthier you. I hope that you have a beautiful day, and I will see you again on the next podcast.